Well, as we all know, Jasmine Crockett has been on a tear lately. But I think ripping the crap out of Donald Trump for the enduring image of his rather bloated, let's call it arse, playing golf while the stock market's crashing because he imposed idiotic, ridiculous, counterproductive tariffs on people may just be one that sticks with everybody. The image and what Jasmine had to say. Just watch this. She gets it all in there.
There's nothing efficient about terminating leases for IRS taxpayer assistance centers during tax season.
Wait for it.
Nor dismantling farmers' support offices in rural communities while farmers are trying to survive Trump's tariffs.
Wait for it.
And just like their trade policy, there isn't any logic or strategy behind the Trump administration's reductions in force or accelerated disposal of federally owned property.
Wait, one more time.
It has been discussed that managing federal property has been on GAO's high-risk list for more than 2 decades. Currently, GAO has almost 60 recommendations that the administration could fully implement, but decided to ignore.
Here we go.
And I'm going to veer off for 2 seconds because all I kept hearing was fire. Fire, fire, fire is what I heard. And as I heard fire, it seems like we are talking about an administration that has been hell-bent on firing government workers. They are hell-bent on engaging in fire sales of our government buildings. And while we are at it, they are lighting the Social Security on fire, Medicaid on fire, Medicare on fire, 401ks on fire, Department of Education on fire. And instead, what we need to light on fire are Trump's tariffs. In fact, we could probably go a little bit further and fire this incompetent administration. But if we are going to talk about efficiency and worry about some solar paneled whatevers, let's talk about the fact that as of March 30th, Trump's golfing has cost us approximately $26 million. And the last time I checked, we're not getting anything in return for that. So I will get back on my remarks, but I just wanted to point out that maybe we need to talk about the president and his golfing habits. In fact, he decided that he was going to golf as the markets were tanking. He decided he was going to golf instead of receiving 4 heroes who died serving this country. He has decided that he wanted to play games while the rest of us are really trying to make sure that we can serve the American people.
For your consideration, the Jericho.
I mean, it's rather amazing if you think about it. The man does not even pretend to care about anybody, his own voters, anybody else. Sends an innocent guy over to El Salvador to a prison, and they try to argue for why they shouldn't bring the innocent guy back from a prison with terrorists in it, and causes everybody to lose their investments, many of whom are MAGA. And he goes and he plays golf. And he cheated, of course, I'm sure. Rick Riley wrote a whole book on that. Utterly pathetic. How you all voted for him, my God.
Thank you so much. It should not be surprising that the president is doing everything possible to make it more difficult for the media to hold him accountable and for the public to be informed about his reckless and illegal behavior. Yet here we are. The Republicans have actually organized this goofy hearing to try to convince the American people that PBS and NPR are, quote, domestic terrorists or domestic threats. My apologies.
So let me try to understand this. PBS, you know, Sesame Street, Big Bird, he's scary. Elmo, they're a domestic threat. You never know when Snuffleupagus will just disappear. You won't know he exists. And, oh, that's right. No, that's the Trump administration that makes people disappear. They're the ones who are taking people off the streets without due process and disappearing them. Not Snuffleupagus. Yeah, that's a domestic threat. A guy who is too mentally addled, who's got so much Adderall in his brain it's leaking out of his ears, so he doesn't understand what tariffs are, and destroys our stock market, and $11 billion in wealth disappears in like less than 2 months. Yeah, that's not a domestic threat.
It's as stupid as it sounds. The American people should be worried about the president threatening to investigate NBC for treason for reporting on his felony convictions, or arresting reporters and stripping networks of their licenses for not saying nice things about him or not using Gulf of America. The Republicans' witness, Mr. Gonzalez, went so far as to suggest that because NPR and PBS reported on the murder of George Floyd, they, quote, represent a danger to our physical health as well as to civic health of our body politics. Ms. Mayor, do you think reporting on the murder of George Floyd and highlighting instances of systemic racism is a domestic threat to America?
Oh, and now I get it. Reporting on the murder of a black man by a police officer, murder, is terrible for our health. That police officer putting his knee on that man's neck and crushing it, that wasn't bad for our health. The other vigilantes these guys support, like that little punk up in Wisconsin, Rittenhouse, who went and found a way to kill people. No, that's not bad for Americans' health. It's just the reporting of it is. It's the knowing it happened so it maybe won't happen again and we can prevent it. I appreciate the Trump administration for helping me figure that out.